The Republican National Convention, RNC, will begin next week in Milwaukee, with law enforcement on high alert to ensure the safety of the event. Federal, state, and local law enforcement, including the FBI, U.S. Secret Service, and the Milwaukee Police Department, have collaborated on a joint threat assessment, highlighting the potential risks associated with such a significant political gathering. Although no specific threats have been identified, the symbolic nature of the RNC and its link to the 2024 general election make it an attractive target for various bad actors. Preparations are already in full swing at the Pfizer Forum, where former President Donald Trump is set to be formally nominated as the Republican candidate. Trump secured the necessary delegates for the nomination back in March, and this week's events will confirm his candidacy. Despite the heavy Republican presence, Milwaukee remains a Democratic stronghold, making the city a strategic choice for reaching key voters in the battleground state of Wisconsin. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has classified the RNC as a significant event requiring extensive federal interagency support. Officers from at least 24 states and the District of Columbia will be present to maintain order. The U.S. Secret Service is leading the security efforts, coordinating a comprehensive plan to address any potential threats. While the Republicans gather inside, thousands of left-leaning protesters are expected to march outside. A coalition of over 120 groups has formed to voice their opposition to both the Republican platform and Donald Trump. Organizers anticipate that around 5,000 people will participate in the demonstrations. The surge in protester interest is partly fueled by growing concerns over President Biden's age, which many believe heightens the chances of Trump's re-election. The potential for conflict at large political conventions is not unprecedented. Historical examples, such as the 1968 Democratic National Convention in Chicago and the 2008 Republican Convention in St. Paul, have seen significant clashes between police and protesters. Milwaukee itself has a history of tense law enforcement interactions, most notably during the George Floyd protests in 2020. The city's reliance on forceful tactics like tear gas and rubber bullets has often escalated rather than mitigated tensions. Research indicates that aggressive police actions usually lead to increased violence in subsequent protests. Studies involving mathematical models and social psychology theories suggest that a strategy of negotiated management, where authorities work collaboratively with protest organizers, results in more peaceful demonstrations. This method includes designating dialogue areas, jointly planning protest routes, and maintaining non-aggressive law enforcement presence. Despite these findings, Milwaukee has opted for heightened security measures, blocking the use of areas like Perry Marquette Park for protests. This approach raises concerns about the potential for escalating conflicts. Lessons from the 2012 Democratic National Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina, where proactive engagement with protesters led to peaceful outcomes, highlight the effectiveness of negotiated management. As the RNC unfolds next week, Milwaukee faces a pivotal test. The city's approach will be crucial in determining whether it perpetuates a cycle of violence or embraces strategies that prioritize peace and dialogue. Upholding democratic values and ensuring the safety of all participants is paramount as Milwaukee navigates this high-stakes event.